Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Buzz. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have some cool things to talk about out of the world of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And it comes down to hardware choices. Do you want a laptop or a desktop for machine learning? Obviously, we're going to want desktop performance inside of a laptop. But based on how computing works, you're going to have to make some trade-offs. And determining exactly where that line is between portability and performance, that's really a personal choice, and it's a case-by-case situation because everyone uses their laptops and desktops for different things. That being said, if you're a true nerd, you could just buy both. It is pretty nice, though, with a laptop to be able to walk out to the couch and keep your model training, keep an eye on it while you're watching one of your favorite shows. So choosing between a laptop and a desktop, there's a couple choices that you're going to have to make, and hopefully this guide and this video will really help you to determine which one might be right for you. First, let's go over the hardware differences that you're likely to find between laptops and desktops, especially as they're used for machine learning. So the latest laptops have great CPUs. They're essentially desktop grade CPUs in them these days. But the main difference between laptop and desktop is going to be your overclocking ability, which in machine learning can help speed things up quite a bit depending on what you're doing. If you can really liquid cool your CPU, keep it nice and icy cold, you can crank it up to a higher clock speed and get more calculations out of it. If you're not going to be doing a whole lot of overclocking, then you're likely to get pretty comparable performance with a laptop compared to a desktop. RAM is another area where desktops are going to have a slight advantage because it's a little bit easier to pop in and shop for RAM for a desktop compared to a laptop. Granted, a lot of laptops you are able to upgrade the RAM somewhat easily, but you're not able to upgrade it as much. You don't have that capacity that you might like. And the stock RAM that comes with a lot of laptops that you'll buy usually starts on the lower end, like 8 gigabytes, for example. And you might want 16 or even 32 gigabytes. 32 gigabytes on a laptop is even considered quite a bit these days. So it's a lot easier to put that type of RAM into a desktop. If you're thinking you might need that much, definitely look to make sure your laptop could handle that, or consider getting a desktop that supports that. Probably the most important area where laptops have not caught up to desktops in terms of machine learning is the graphics cards. The laptop graphics cards have not really come up to par with the desktop versions, and that's because they're usually pretty bulky. And usually with a laptop, you're going to want a small form factor, and manufacturers aren't able to downsize the full-size graphics cards into something that would fit into a normal size laptop. So they make kind of compromised versions that are almost as good, but they're also smaller and can actually fit within a laptop. But the trade-off there is you get slightly lower performance. One example of this is the NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti. So if you're making a desktop, you can get that full-fledged version. However, a lot of laptops will have kind of the scaled down version, which is the 1660 Ti Max Q. Still a great graphics card, and it comes at a really affordable price. If you're looking for a good mid-range laptop to use for machine learning, take a look at some of the gaming laptops. These will typically have kind of a beefed up graphics card that'll really help you tear through some neural network computations. And one of my recommendations for this is the 2019 Dell G3 gaming laptop. So it's a gaming laptop. It also looks pretty cool on top of being pretty performant. It's got that 1660 Ti Max Q like I was talking about, and it's got Intel quad core processor. That'll do some nice work for you at a pretty good price point as well. So there are definitely laptops that can give you extreme performance, probably better performance than some mid-range desktops. However, you're going to be paying a lot for these, and they're also pretty thick with two C's. And Some even require 2 power bricks to actually keep them on. So, at this point, you're going to be lugging around this luggage, literally, and you're not going to be as portable as you would be with kind of a more normal laptop. And once you sort of sacrifice that portability factor, is it really that much different than a desktop? In my opinion, not really. You might as well just go for the desktop in that case. Bottom line is, if portability is important to you, such as bringing your laptop to class or to a coffee shop, laptops can really be great machine learning tools, and you can find one that'll work for you. But just be aware of the performance trade-offs and make sure that portability outweighs those. So like I said, the Dell G3 is a great option if you're looking for kind of a well-rounded, affordable machine learning laptop. It's got the Max-Q for deep learning. It looks cool as well. I'll put a link to that in the description below. If your budget's on the higher side and you don't need a substantial dedicated GPU for training neural nets, so far the M1 MacBook looks amazing. This thing has probably the best CPU in a laptop out there right now. I'm going to be getting mine in several days, and I'll be sure to do a full review of the performance of how these fare with different machine learning tasks. So if you're interested in seeing that, give this channel a subscribe and check back in a couple days. So if you want a little bit beefier of a workstation and you want to go the desktop route, you'll get those benefits I was talking about, like the enhanced cooling. You'll get probably a better full-fledged graphics card for the same price. And you have a few options here. You're going to either want to go the pre-built route or you're going to want to do the DIY route. Let's talk about the pre-built first. And for this, I would check out something like the Skytech Archangel. I was looking at this. It's a Ryzen 5 CPU. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, which you'll find really helpful for storing larger data sets, as well as the 1660 NVIDIA graphics card. So this is a pretty good mid-range machine learning build. I'll put the link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Or the other path you can go is trying to build one yourself. And I personally really like this route. I really like the kind of hands-on approach and really understanding everything that's going into my build. However, I understand not everyone enjoys that. So the pre-built you might be looking more at. But if you are going to do the DIY path, there's a lot of videos on my channel that I think you could benefit from. So check those out. I talk about which CPUs you might want to look at, or which RAM considerations you want to factor into your build. So give the channel a subscribe, and I hope to be coming out with more videos that kind of detail those different things in machine learning builds. And as always, if you want specific advice on your particular use case and budget, please reach out to me either in the comment section or send me a message. I love talking about this stuff. I love learning about what you guys are working on and see how I can help. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. And let me know what type of video you might want to see next in the comment section below. I read them all. And other than that, have a good day. Bye.